It's Monday. Here we are. Snakes and Stogies 225. Brought to you by blackboxcages.com. Check them out. Facebook, Instagram. Shop around. Need racks, you need cages. They've got something for you. There's a lot to choose from, a lot to pick from. Hop on there. Use the code THN24 at checkout. Get a little discount. Save even more. Choose the pickup option instead of shipping. If you're within a reasonable drive of North Georgia, even if you're in an unreasonable drive of North Georgia and you feel like making that pilgrimage, by all means, do it. I did post a video over the weekend, the long weekend, for me, not so much for Phil, of the new XR V2820 that I picked one up. I think Jake got one as well. So we did a video I did a video on mine sort of talking about it and stuff like that. Within the next couple of weeks, whenever Jake gets his room situated, we're going to go through and sort of do a rundown of pretty much all their racks, because I think Jake has one of all of them at this point. So stay tuned for that. That'll be a good sort of side-by-side comparison direct of everything they offer. But that V28 that I got, I love it. If you go and go to the little channel button down below and find it and watch it and like it and love it, all that stuff. So check it out. Check out Black Box. You won't be disappointed.
I thoroughly enjoyed your Maculosa
Really?
box video. Sorry, I was struggling with the words there. Your die-cast model car case that you converted into a scorpion enclosure. I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was conversion. Yes, it was fun, and it was quick. It was good.
It's been I have that camera, that mirrorless G4, whatever one it is. It's like a Panasonic, I think. Okay. A Lumix. And I have that, and I'll bust it out. But for the most part, I'm at a point now where I'm like, I'm just going to use my phone, because I'm not bringing in lights. I'm not busting out the tripod. I'm not dealing with all that. I just want to film this. And then with that isometrics video, though, I was kind of like, this entire video, you're pretty much just staring at me and nothing else. So
no, but it's good. It shows.
I just put it out there.
Shows the scale and whatnot. I'm kind of bummed because I just redid bug enclosures, and I was like, man, I should have did videos as to how we do that, because I feel like more people are curious as to how they could keep bugs, And
I do like that case that I used. They're still in it. I have my small gripes with it, mostly like opening it easily, because sometimes it can get a little tough, and I'm afraid that I'm gonna like pull it and the whole thing's just gonna go flying with everything inside of it.
Of course.
But other than that, I mean, it's a great size for smaller species like that. Like, you could keep a nice little group of Arizona barks in it if you wanted to. It's a nice little size, and they've got a handful of other size options as well, so it's not just that one. For whatever reason, my Hobby Lobby has been out of stock on a lot of that. So, because I was in there over the weekend getting baby scorpion stuff, because that isometrics. I shot that video like, I don't know, a week or two prior, and it was before she had popped. So I have babies, and I have all the little vials and stuff set up.
Nice.
Just waiting on them to start venturing off mom's back. I'm counting it. It looks like it's going to be around about 15. I tried to count earlier because I've been periodically, once a day checking in on them to see if they're molting at all or moving, and they aren't yet. But
not a bad breed.
Tried to count them tonight, like, I don't know, 45 minutes ago, and I'm looking at roughly 15. It looks like, so from what I can see, there may be buried under there somewhere, but.
Nice.
Pretty pumped.
And are you're not concerned with air holes, are you? Just because they're so high up.
What do you mean? What, the air holes in the case?
Yeah, like babies getting out through the air holes?
No.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they can't climb. That glass is too slick for them to climb, or that plexi is acrylic, whatever it is. That plastic is too slick for them to climb. But
good stuff.
Yeah, so give that a view, and then go over to fullfaceapparel.com. Christmas is coming. Maybe you want something and people need Christmas ideas for you. Just send them that link. Make it easy. I know I can be difficult to shop for. I've got family that are difficult to shop for. Just send them the link and say, buy me one of everything, and then problem solved.
Smooth. Real smooth.
You like that? Like that? And you use the code THN at checkout, and you get 15% off your orders. That is the exclusive promo code for THN listeners and viewers like you. And then Cold-Blooded Caffeine. Best coffee round. That Snakes and Stogies clashing of titans. Mexican and Rwandan coffees coming together in a singular bag. I mean, if you look at Billy's face, he's just so excited about it. He can't stand it.
That was well done, Billy. Well, golf clap. Golf clap.
Use the code SMOKE, and that should get you 10% off your order. And there's our coffee and many, many others, as well as their house blends, the originals that you can pick from. And they are delicious. So, what are you smoking this evening?
This evening, I went off keel. My Father, 1922.
Nice.
Yeah.
Le
It's been a while.
Yeah. That was the cigar of the year back in 2015.
Yeah, something like that.
2014, 2015. That was one for a while I just couldn't get into. I tried it a couple times, and I don't know, it just didn't do much for me. But as of the last year or so, I've been smoking them a little more frequently.
Yeah, well, I mean,
you gotta get the right box. There's some boxes of them, they just don't. They're not right. They just taste off.
I feel like you can even, this is going to sound anecdotal as hell, but I feel like you can even look at them in the box and just be like, not that box.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the ones that are off are just kind of a more of a lighter shade.
Yeah, they don't look right. They don't look like they're supposed to. And it's you've been smoking them more than I have in the past several years. I probably haven't had one in almost 2 years, maybe, if not longer. But box press Toro, can't go wrong. Torpedo tip.
Yeah. The Robusto is the one that got cigar of the year. And I have found with that blend that the gauge and Vitola you go with does play a pretty big part in the overall experience of it. So it's just an odd blend. Like I said, it's hit or miss, and then depending on what size you get, is going to kind of determine what you think of it. So, but it is a good cigar overall. Like I said, there's been a handful that I've had over the years that were not great, and I chalked it up to it just being a box to box thing because it's a handmade thing. So you're going to get some imperfections and wacky individuals out of the group. So
I will say this though, I've never had one. How do I phrase this? I've never had one burn bad, and I've also never had one with drawing issues. But the flavor has been kind of wonky, and the smoke itself has been kind of funky. But
it's always good to go. Flavor thing as far as inconsistency goes. Everything else has been pretty consistent. So.
Yeah. And what about you, sir?
I am finishing off this Nica Rustica broadleaf Maduro that I started earlier. And then I have an Adobe when I'm done with that. My little go-to.
Yeah.
Little cigar I cannot freaking recommend enough. It's just a great everyday smoke, not crazy expensive. Very consistent. I've only had a couple within the last couple months in particular that really had issues with some soft spots and burning all fucked up. And but keeping it simple. Nica Rusticas this evening.
Yeah, nice. And Tyson, I'm not ignoring your thing. I am wearing my ASF hoodie. It is only 60 degrees here in South Florida, but it's an excuse for me to wear my ASF hoodie that I get to wear 3 days a year. I'm actually wearing basketball shorts and flip-flops underneath this hoodie. So there you go.
I contemplated doing this inside tonight because it is, I think, supposed to get at or below freezing tonight here. So,
man, must be nice.
It's dropping quick.
Must be nice. Well, we're joined by someone who's in the middle, in between us, as well as geographically in the middle, in between us, Mr. Billy Hunt. What is the temperature by you?
is 49 degrees right now.
49.
It's supposed to get down to 39.
Oh, look at you. Oh, I'm in North Florida, man.
Central.
Central.
Anything's north if you're Phil.
Yeah, exactly. Tyson says it's 43 in Ocala. I believe that. Now, Smitty, I know we've already spoken about Fulvius apparel, but I noticed you're wearing a beanie with a leather patch on the front.
Yeah, it wasn't even done on purpose. It's
I was gonna say that wasn't a sales pitch.
Like, I'm gonna wear the beanie. I didn't even think about it. Yeah, so I experimented with some of these patches on beanies to see how well they hold up with the stretching and stuff. And I figured if anyone's gonna be able to make this patch pop off because of their giant head, it's gonna be me because I do have a big head. And it's on there. So I'm in the process of I'm gonna get some made and get them on the website before Christmas. I'm in a weird limbo because I bought a new laser, but it has not shown up yet. And with this new laser, I will be able to do them sort of in batches, which currently I do them one at a time because my laser that I use now is fairly primitive in comparison.
So you're literally taking the leather patches themselves and you're lasering each one.
Yes.
One might say that it's hand lasered.
I mean, I mess up about 2 or 3 of them for every one that I get right. So if you got one that's right, there was a lot of frustration and
the Levy's
in my garage while I made that.
The Levy's knobtail one you gave me, that one looks fantastic.
Oh yeah, no, that one was messed up, dude.
Was it really? It doesn't look. I can't tell.
See, it looked fine to you, but to me, I'm like, that is straight trash.
Oh no, I thought it looks good. It's good.
I have that issue at work too. Like, we'll look at stuff and we'll be like, oh, they're gonna notice that, and then we're like, wait a second. 99% of people aren't going to notice that because they're not in this like line of work. They're not going to notice the people that aren't painters aren't going to notice the tiny little weird streak at the top corner that's half an inch long. But
yeah,
painters will.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I've not had any imperfections from Fulvius apparel, and I can't say I've ever had any problems with any real apparel that I've ever gotten, whether it be from you or from Bummy Reptiles. Shout out Billy Hunt. But I felt bad. Anna Maria got a shirt. I guess I don't know if it was this year or last year. She was one of those things where it's like you're on Instagram and you're scrolling. It's like, look at this shirt that is completely based around all the algorithm you've been selecting lately. And she's like, oh, this is super cute. And she bought it and she got it. And it is bona fide crooked. So I don't know what sweatshop in the Southeast Asian region it came from, but yeah, it's funny. And I mean, she still wears it around the house, but yeah. Well, obviously people who are listening know that Billy Hunt is joining us.
I'm here.
You're here in the flesh. Lovely shirt, Billy Hunt.
Warm in his house.
Yeah, right. And what adult vice are we partaking in?
Me? This is I don't want to say what it is. It's not an adult beverage.
Come on, man. Shirley Temple's for the win.
No, it's just simply fruit punch.
Nice.
Yeah, then I'm gonna chase it with a nice bottle of water.
Some hack water H2O.
Yeah.
It's good year.
Purified.
Nice. From the springs of Zephyr.
I've been in those.
I.e. Hillsborough County.
So weird.
It might be, yeah.
You say, is that why Billy tastes so weird?
No, is that why the water tastes so weird? Because Billy's been swimming around in the springs, probably peeing or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not the first, not the last.
Him and the manatees.
As Floridians, do you guys refuse to drink Zephyr Hills, or is it just one of those things where it's like, it's ours, we're owning it, and we're gonna drink it?
Oh no, dude! For me, Zephyr Hills is one of the only bottled waters I will drink.
Yeah, it's
really
awesome.
Yeah.
I'll drink it all day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously Fiji is the best of the best, and I'll live on that hill to the day I die. But most places don't have Fiji, and Zephyr Hills for the win.
We get it for free too, so that helps.
Must be nice.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of spring water. I hate talking about how I don't like the flavor of certain waters because it is the biggest first world problem. Fuck you, like stupid problem. to
Yeah,
complain
I'm
about.
with you.
But
Well, I
spring
think it's
water, I don't like the taste of spring water overall. I'm not a fan.
So what does
Just-
it taste like then?
It tastes like rocks, and I know how rocks taste. Okay,
taste
I
the
was a kid.
minerals.
Did
Okay,
you chew on rocks as a kid?
yeah, that's why I had braces and stuff. My teeth are all fucked up.
Well, so
it-
you know Tyson's in Florida because he just said what I was going to say. So when us Floridians, when hurricanes coming, people freak the fuck out and they gather up every single bottle of water they can. The only thing left on the shelves of your local grocer is distilled water for obvious reasons. You know, you get sick if you drink it, and Dasani. There will be hundreds, if not thousands, of cases of Dasani water
Dude,
left on the
Dasani
shelf.
makes you thirstier. Like
Yeah.
there's salt in it. It makes you
Yeah.
more thirsty. You ever drink Dasani and then wonder why you're still thirsty?
Yeah, that's why they put it in theme parks and amusement parks because they want you to keep buying more.
It's
Yeah,
it's a Coke product too, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Which is why it's so disappointing. I mean, if
I
it's
get
coming
them
from
for
Pepsi,
free
it's
at-
trash.
At Bush, and I'm not very picky about my water, so
Like if someone hands me a bottle of Zephyr Hills, I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, dude, that's spring water. I'm not touching it." Like I'll drink it, but if I'm
You just
going
pour it
into a
out in
store
front
and
of 'em?
choosing, yeah,
No, man, Zephyr Hills is the jam. And look at Sammy Sam spelling Zephyr Hills correctly.
oh yeah, she used to live over there.
Nice. Oh, so
The
what's
monument of the state?
something like that? It's the Poland Springs of the South. For all you Yankees up there in the group chat. What's cooking, boys? What's new? What's happening besides this brisk weather?
I got that oil filled heater in the room going just to keep things. I'm not trying to like get it hot, but just keep it above, whatever the house is currently because we haven't even turned the heater on yet. So it's been pretty chilly in the house, but
Yeah, I've decided that I put on my Amazon wish list for my family to see a room dehumidifier because I don't know, I haven't changed my practices at all, but the desert room is getting more humid. And I know it's weather induced. I know it's probably seasonal, but this time last year it was not this high. I'm at like 60% right now. And I'd like to get it down at least 10%, if not 12 or 15%. So I was looking at a couple of them on Amazon, and it's like automatic shut off and 2 liters of reservoir. And then once the reservoir fills up, it turns itself off. And I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, I can't tell if these are, I got to do some digging. If they're battery powered, I assume they are, or if they're like you plug them in and hide the cord. But I didn't even think of this as I started reading reviews, and everyone's like, it's loud. And I'm like, oh man, because that's the last thing I need is for the all night. You know what I mean?
no, man, might help you sleep.
With
might.
my luck, no.
I'm at a point where we can't go to sleep if the fan's not on. Like we got to have that weird faint whisper in the
Ambient noise.
like Jake and his white noise app that he has on his phone at Daytona.
Does he really?
He's like, I can't sleep without it.
You know what I thought about the other day with him? The Jake neck snake or Jake neck turtle.
The Jake Neck Turtle? Yeah.
Oh, I laughed too long at that. I remember that.
It's so random, but it's always a classic.
Jake
Yeah.
Neck River Turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Jake Neck River Turtle. That's it. Oh man. So yeah, I'm definitely putting that on the it's already on the Amazon. One of them is on the Amazon wish list, but I'm gonna dabble with that. And then Niserg was in our little spider chat. We were talking about dehumidifier, but I just think of other people around the country and like how they're adding humidity and adding humidifiers, and I'm trying to get rid of it. And
What about those the bucket things you'd buy? I don't know what they have in them, but you're supposed to put them in like a closet or something, and they're supposed to like suck in all the humidity and moisture from the air. I forget what.
oh, no, it's just silica.
Is it?
Yeah, it's silica. It's like it's very similar to, you know, those baking soda packs that are in cardboard boxes and it's designed for you to leave in your refrigerator to suck the smell of the funky
Right.
fridge out. Yeah. It's basically the same thing, but in like a little tub, like a little butter tub configuration for pulling humidity. So I've never used one because I know it's just futile, but I did buy when I moved. I still have my entire book collection, dare I say, baby library, in gasket airtight tubs because I didn't want them to get funky. I didn't want silverfish to get in cardboard boxes. Like, just
It's gonna
shit
happen in
happens.
Florida if you don't.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So what I wound up buying was from Uline, I got these silica packs that are probably the size of a cell phone. I don't know how many grams it is, but
Mhm.
inside the silica packs, it has a different color bead that's orange. And when the silica is soaked up as much moisture as it can, those beads turn green. So you can look at the silica pack and go, oh shit, it's green. It's full of moisture. And then you actually microwave them. And I found this at the hard way. It makes them stupid hot. Just FYI. You microwave them and the microwave pulls out all the humidity and the crystals turn orange again. I cannot, how do I phrase this? If I leave one of those packs on my kitchen counter, it takes about an hour for it to turn green.
Really?
Yeah.
Florida. Yeah.
Florida. So, yeah, I think dehumidifier is probably going to be the way to go. And then some of them I was reading, it basically only does about 10 to 12% drop, which is honestly fine because in the summer I can make it drier than it needs to than it is, and in the winter it'll help regulate it and keep it what it probably should be. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. Another adventure.
It's weird that at this time of year you're having that issue though.
Yeah, so the room, I mean, let's look at it right now. Well, I got
That's why
everyone.
it's so damn cold because of the humidity. The moisture in the air makes it feel way colder than it actually is.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So
What's going on, Darren?
right now, let's let the Bluetooth load. Right now it is 60 degrees outside, and my app on my phone says feels like 55. In the snake room, it is 71, which is annoying to me, with 53% humidity.
Because it's too warm?
Yeah, because it's cool outside with high humidity, and the room is at room temp, but the humidity is still leaching through, whether it be the drywall itself or through air gaps in the doors or the windows. I mean, the windows are obviously not airtight. But yeah, that's just what it's doing. And I have a fan going, and then I have the AC pumping into it. Now, I did turn the air conditioner off about an hour ago upstairs, because if I don't, it'll just freeze out the downstairs and I'll have issues and whatnot. What's so funny?
It's Florida. I gotta turn Florida in December. I had to turn off the AC because
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, we got it tough down here, man.
people are on another planet, man.
Oh, another planet, country, maybe. But so yeah, and the coldest it's been was I guess, when was this? It got 66 last night in the snake room with a high of 55% humidity. So Ryan Cox says AC, I miss her.
That the oil filled heater, man, though, those things are awesome. I need one for the mouse house still, because it's nice to have something that I can run pretty much all day and all night if I need to, and not have to worry about burning the house down.
Yeah, right.
Those things do a great job. Like, I don't even being able to adjust it sort of as needed to where if I only needed to run just a little bit just to keep temps up slightly, like I just turn it down. Then if I needed to run real hot, I can turn it up, and the whole thing. It's just I think I paid $30 or $40 for one from Walmart, and it's been awesome. Thing's been great.
Now-
And then it's nice and compact, so I just store it in my closet in the summer months, and then when it's time to wheel it out,
forgive me for my lack of knowledge or ignorance, but do you have to continuously add oil to that? Is it burning off that oil?
No,
No?
it's just I guess a radiator is probably the best way to explain it. Billy probably could, probably is more about that than I am, but
I actually don't know
basically
much about it.
yeah, it just has oil in it that it heats up and it radiates that heat out.
Okay.
And I think Andy Middleton said he has one, and he has a thermostat in his room that it is connected to. My room isn't that big, so I don't feel that a thermostat is really necessary. I just go in and stand in there for a few minutes and be like, this feels fine, and then move on. So.
Yeah.
But
that's good.
I love that thing. It's great.
That's cool, man. And it doesn't get too hot. Does it have an auto shut off thing?
It can get really hot, and it has this one has, like, I guess if it gets knocked over or something, it has an auto off, like a fail safe. It being from Walmart, whether or not that actually works, who knows? But I don't think I've ever had that thing anything higher than like half power. If that, like, if you got that thing at the halfway point, like, it's pretty damn hot. So really, in like the first like 25-30% of that little dial, I don't really have to go much past that. It's
so then if you're using an actual heater in the snake room, obviously it's going to be colder outside because you live in a legitimately temperate climate. Are you trying to maintain a high 60, low 70, or are you trying to maintain a legitimate reptile room ambient of like 78?
No, at this time of year, I'm if I can maintain it around like mid 70s, like, I'm fine. I'm happy.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's like, I let things naturally get cooler in the room, and that, this year, because I'm not really going to be cooling stuff down the way I usually do, where I have stuff in here in the garage and it's like getting really cold. Everything's just getting sort of a mild cool down. The rhinos, that's what I do with them every year anyways, so there's nothing new there. But cut back on food, temps drop a decent amount, and the natural light cycles and stuff too, and just let that be.
Because I know you've garaged some stuff before. You've closeted some stuff before for cooling. I just didn't know, with you busting out the space heater, if you were trying to maintain that reptile room ambient, or if you were dropping them with everything else that's happening in
just with as cold as it's been in the house and stuff, and with the the scorpions and spiders and stuff now in the room. I want to keep them mid 70s on the lower end if I can, and then the snakes are kind of just along for the ride at that point. The rhinos don't care, but
yeah.
The only time I did the closet thing is like because my closet was sort of a weird in between of, it wasn't as cold as it is in the garage, but it wasn't as warm as it is in the house. It's a weird sort of intermediate. So I would put stuff in the closet for 2 weeks, and then finally move them into the garage after they've kind of graduated a little bit as we go. But I think last year I just said, whatever, it's getting cold, y'all, and they went straight into the garage.
Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I want to open a window and like just let it get frosty in there. Well, not frosty, but you know what I mean. Let it get 60 in there. But I would have to figure out how to. I mean, I don't think there would be any legal way for me to do it because there's got to be some kind of double barrier there.
Can you do it if you're in the room? Even if it's like half an hour?
Let's be real, man. If I cracked a window and hung out in there, like, Fish and Wildlife will never know. But morally, it's the wrong thing to do. And I don't want to risk anything. You know what I mean? Especially now with the laws the way they are. So all I need is for some crazy freak meteorite to come and crack my window open and break a tank, and I got a problem. So I think it's better to just keep trying to do things the way I'm doing it and kind of go from there. I looked at getting they have these plastic window frames that, like, I guess they're supposed to go on the outside of your house for like pseudo shutters. Like, they're not real shutters. I think they're for like light diffusion, or they may even be like the framing of the metal bars in like a bad neighborhood. I don't know how you'd choreograph that, but I thought about getting one of those for one of my windows and then screening that all off. So that way there's the screen of the actual window, and then I could crack the glass and then have another screen on the other side of that. But none of that's happening this season, so it's kind of irrelevant. But now, Billy, you've got several different rooms with several different type ecosystems.
Pimp
What are you
mansion.
doing right now?
Right now, I just kind of let things do what they do. The stuff I want to keep a little warmer stays upstairs, and the stuff that can get a little cooler, I keep downstairs. I don't really put too much thought into it because they usually get to warm up a little bit during the day anyway. Um, yeah, I don't really stress about it. These things can handle, bigger swings than I think we give them credit for.
Well, and I think at least in my case, for my animals, I want a huge ass swing. I want that 15 to 20 degree swing. And I don't think I can get it. I mean, I right now I'm consistent 10 degrees nightly, which I think is great. But if this time of year, if I can get 20 degrees or 15 degrees, I think it'd be all the better.
Yeah, well, too, with your issue with your room and not being able to just crack a window. Like, when I want to get stuff colder, that's all I got to do, and it works.
Yeah.
But I don't have to worry about the stuff you have to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that it's also tough because up by you, it's going to get 15 to 20 degrees cooler every night for, say, 60 or 90 days. Down by me, I'm going to get like 3 or 4 days at 60 or 55, and then it'll be 80 or 82 for like a month. And then I might get another 3 or 4 days at 60. So I almost don't want to do the window thing because I feel like it might be too much of a spike opposed to a consistent just 10 degrees overall. Does that make sense?
It does. And we've talked about this before.
Yeah,
I think sometimes we can look into things a little too deep.
for sure.
I mean, if you want them to experience it and you got 3-4 days of it, then let them experience it. If you want to do the 10-degree thing, then just do that and have that be consistent, through the winter and stuff. But either way, it's not going to be harmful to them.
Right. And it reminds me of what you just said reminds me of my first pyro that I ever got. And the thing ate and then it didn't eat. It ate like 3 or 4 times and then just stopped. And it went like 3 months without food. And it was right around this time, right around Christmas. And Chris Paint Shop says, just put it in a different room with no light and no heat. And I was like, yeah, but it's still like 72 degrees. He's like, nah, just do it. And it was like a 4-degree difference with no light and no heat. And then it's after about a month, it started eating. So.
Yeah, I don't think it has to be anything drastic. I think it just has to be a long enough switch for them to be like, okay, this is definitely not just a 24-hour, 48-hour thing. Like, this is a seasonal shift.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just always curious as to what that minimum is. Like, what is the what temperatures can you get away with dropping them to that will trigger that shift?
Well, I think there's a lot more happening than just the temperature dropping. There's pressure differences, and there's a lot more stuff they're going to be keen on than we can, artificially make for them.
True.
So it's kind of hard to hit all the triggers you need to if you're just going by temperature.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. And that's one thing that I in the past, looking at weather apps and scientific papers, I never paid attention to the humidity during those colder times. So like stuff from the Southwest, obviously our boys Brandon and Gron, and they're they're going to be way more in tune to it as to what the humidity is in January, even though reptiles aren't out because it's friggin' cold. But is the humidity higher in those colder months? I don't even know. I have to look that up. I never paid much attention to that.
The other thing to take into account with that is ambient humidity is going to be different from the humidity where they're actually at.
Yeah, microclimate humidity.
Yeah. There's
well
I've
put.
been looking a lot into that kind of stuff with all the papers and all that.
Yeah.
And yeah, holy crap. There, if you look in the right places, you can find a ton of data that, like, man, I never really thought of that. You just think of, okay, it gets this high, this low, this humidity, and that's it. But there's so much more to it. And, you know, are they in shade? Are they underground? Are they up in a tree? There's so many things to take into consideration.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's funny. There's an area. One of my snakes comes from this one area south of. I mean, I guess it's south of the Negev, southeast of the Negev desert, and the only weather station for like 400 miles is called of the airport. It's like a military airport with like they allow commercial jets to land there on occasion or some shit. I don't even know. I have to dig deeper, but I use that as a point of reference. So like it's 45 degrees there right now. And the humidity is 77%.
Wow.
And it's a barren wasteland desert south of the Negev desert. So maybe I shouldn't get a dehumidifier. Who knows? But that just goes back to what Billy's saying. Like, just don't overthink it, right?
It's worked for me in the past with the stuff I've been successful with.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. So speaking of your successfulness with your critters, what's new in the critter world, Billy? What do you got? What's been cooking? How's the torts?
Torts are cool. Torts are doing really good. Having a ton of fun with them. I'm keeping up with. I'm trying to do a lot more data retention with them.
Yeah, are you at liberty to talk about the pictures you showed me, the templates?
Sure. Yeah.
Go for it.
Well, do you want me to send them to you? Like,
no, you did, and I put some feelers out to some zoo people, and hopefully they'll be able to get me some information. But yeah, why don't you dive into that real quick?
All right, so nothing crazy, nothing official. I've always been a data nerd, and as you know, recently I've been more wanting to dive into that with these tortoises. It's a lot easier to keep info on them. They're a little easier to weigh and measure and all that than, let's say, a tree boa or a carpet that hates you.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
We're talking about the Burmese.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the Burmese mountain tortoises. So what I've been doing is I'm keeping track of what I'm feeding them daily. So the idea is to keep track all month of what I feed them, and then I want to put it into an Excel sheet and kind of break down all the different things that I feed them percentage wise, and then the first of every month or so I'm doing weights and measurements and kind of keeping track of that, and then kind of based on what I'm giving them, I'm not like weighing out we've talked about this in the group with you and Casey. Obviously if I wanted to put a lot into it, I could weigh, you know, the food that I'm feeding them and stuff, but I don't have time for that.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, but with how I'm doing it, I'm able to, you know, keep up with them and doing it since I got them. So, yeah, I just want to see, you know, if they get, let's say, if they get this type of green more throughout a month, or is there going to be a bigger growth spurt or smaller growth spurt? And if they get more pellets this month opposed to this month, or, you know, just kind of trying to see what it is. I'm not really looking for anything specific. I just want to get a bunch of data and then be able to play around with it.
Sure. Now, are you
do it?
Yeah, are you, for your measurements, I mean, they're small enough to do this. Are you taking calipers and like legit measuring their shell, their arm diameter, whatever?
So I've thought about getting some. I haven't.
Okay.
I've just been doing it with like a tailor measurement thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Tape
and
measure.
I'm doing it to I take my time and I'm getting it to, I got measurements down to the whatever 16th,
Okay.
depending on
Yeah.
what hash it's at. Uh, is it 100% accurate? Obviously not. It could be off a 16th or 8th or whatever. But, it's close enough for what I'm trying to accomplish and all that kind of stuff. But through my research, I found a really good picture diagram that does I think it's 7 or 8 different measurements you can do on them. And I'm doing that every month. So I just measured everything yesterday. And it's crazy seeing how I can get carapace length growth, but then I won't get any plastron growth in certain areas or whatever.
Really?
And yeah, so and I'll have it'd be almost 3/4 of an inch in a month on their carapace, lengthwise, and then the plastron will be exactly the same. So that kind of stuff's really interesting. It's
Yeah.
okay, well,
Yeah.
is it going to catch up next month, or how long until that catches up? When the plastron grows, is the carapace not going to grow as much? It's trying to figure that kind of stuff out, which I think would be cool.
Yeah, most definitely. And I know, I can't remember which species do it, but I know there's some tortoises that do shed plates like aquatic turtles.
Mhm.
Do Burmese?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
But I'm still learning myself. I mean, I've only had these things a few months.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember reading anything on that. There's not a whole bunch out there on them. That's another reason I want to do all the data stuff and all that. Just for my own, selfish wants to have
Sure.
stuff to look at.
Yeah, man. Hey, dude, I did it with the stilettos, man. I know what it's like. It's fucking, you go down that rabbit hole, you just can't stop writing numbers down.
Yeah, and I'm happy I've been able to keep up with it, and it's
Yeah.
not too hard. It's so much easier. I'd love to do it with the snakes and stuff, but with the amount I have and all that, that'd be a job in itself, to keep up with that kind of stuff. So
Yeah. And that's one thing that I do regret not doing more with the stilettos, was actually just weighing them. I only did it when I felt like they were losing body weight and I wanted to see how things were going. I should have just did it every 2-3 times a month. I should just did it. It can't hurt,
So when I was newer into the hobby and I had less animals, um, I had record keeping sheets on everything I had. Each snake had its own Excel sheet that I printed out, and I was keeping tracks of feedings, shedding, when they pooped, and I'd weigh them monthly and all that. And I caught a couple things early before it became an issue just by weighing them, So there is a lot of positive to doing that. But, when it's feasible, there's only so much you can do, and,
Yeah.
it depends on how involved you want to get into it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and I know Smitty, I don't want to speak for you, but that whole corn snake, mouse cutting, that was a lot of great info, man. I feel like I want you to do it again.
I want to do it again, and I'm mostly with a clutch of something that I'm going to sort of hold on to more long term, like chondros or something that I'm not gonna feel the, because I'm not gonna have 3 other clutches coming like I do with corns or something, to where it's like I can't sit on a whole clutch of corns and see this through for 2 years like I'd want to.
Yeah.
And I want to do it with rhinos, but the problem with that is they're not all going to get switched on to mice at the same time, and some are going to take 2 rosies, some will take 3 rosies at a time. So those aren't a great species to try that with. But I think chondros, or if I end up getting some more house snakes. I think the house snakes would be really interesting because just seeing the size meal that those things can take especially as fresh out of the egg.
Yeah.
I'm so curious as to what the growth rate is on those because I swear one of them, one of the two that I got from Black, like as soon as it started eating, man, it had to have damn near doubled in size within like 3 meals. I mean, just like their body is taking that ball and running with it, man. It's wild. So I feel like those would be a really good one to try out. But chondros in particular, I definitely want to. I'm curious to see what the results would be with those, and that's another one where it'd be tough because they're not all going to get going at the same time. But I think once they're all on track, you would see the ones that are sort of playing catch up. You would see sort of the growth rate get on track with the ones that maybe started earlier.
I mean, you could also keep track with them, like when they first come out, what their weights are, full of yolk, and how much they're utilizing before they start taking off on their own. Like, you could get a ton of info doing that with the chondros.
Yeah, and those are great too because they sit still for the most part. And like baby corns and stuff, man. Some of those, it was like trying to freaking keep a wrangle a wet noodle. You know, they're just all over the place.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to do it again and with something different. Or just something that a clutch or something that I'm planning on holding on to longer term to see that through. But I really like, you get these bits of data from each individual each week and stuff. And it's one thing to see just one number for that week. But then once you see them in a list and you're seeing the changes as you go, and then you chart it out and you see like, okay, it is trending upwards fairly consistently. It's really cool because you have your little pieces of the puzzle, but it's like as you're going, you're getting that bigger picture more and more. And it's, is it purely scientific and like something you could definitively say with the data, like this is a thing? Like, no, but it's still something. The feeding thing that I did, it's like, sure, it's not a laboratory grade sort of experiment, if you would, but I feel like the results do point to the fact that the mouse cutting thing is legit. It is real.
1000%.
The numbers were different enough to suggest that there is something there.
Yeah. And I feel like it would be tough because it would have to be a species that it would be conducive with, or think that it would be conducive with, but it also have to be a species that you don't mind keeping all the babies for a year like you do with the corns. I know you only did 7 months with the corns?
Something like that.
Yeah. But I was thinking you do the exact same experiment, but instead of cutting, it birds. So you start off with a pinky mouse and a day-old button quail. And then you just slowly work it up, and you only feed the rodent, and then you only feed the birds. And I'd love to see how that changes things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I feel like chondros are a prime candidate for it just because I didn't hold on to that many with the first clutch I had. In this next clutch, if I get another clutch, like I definitely want to hold on to them longer term and really take my time sitting on them and letting them change and stuff. So
get those blue ones.
Hopefully, the male was all over the female last night. He just shed, and as soon as he shed, he was all about it. But leading up to that, he was in a cycle, and I put him in there with her, and he ignored her for the first 2 or 3 nights, and then he shed, and then it was game on. So he's trying. He gives it his all every time. He just hasn't succeeded. So
story of our lives.
Yeah. You didn't get anything during the storms?
I don't remember because I have them together so infrequently. Like I'll separate them to feed them, and then I won't put them back in for a month or so, and then I'll put them in for a while, and then separate them again. And I've been really sloppy with my regimen as far as introductions and stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll see. Trying ish.
Yeah. I noticed something recently. So, excuse me. Today's Monday, so it'd be 2 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks and 3 days. We had gotten another cold snap down here, but it was only going to be for a day or two. And I was going to feed babies, and I decided, you know what? Let me feed choice babies. So like stuff I knew would metabolize stuff quick, like Everglades rat snakes, the corn snakes, subox. I fed them all, but some of the other stuff I was like, I don't want stuff to either get uncomfortable because it's not warm enough in Gurge, or like feel the pressure difference in Gurge. I want to be in this better safe than sorry. So I didn't feed a couple different animals, but I didn't feed the puff adder specifically. And they'd all just shed about a month ago. And I didn't look at them for like 10 days because they're puff adders. Like, they're cool, you know. What do you call that? Loving neglect or something, right? Careful neglect. So I went in there a couple days ago to feed them. They doubled in size. And I'm really wondering if they were like, oh shit, it's getting cold, or oh shit, there's not food. Let me boost up a little bit in anticipation for the next meal, or what may come along the game trail, as they say. But they almost doubled in I would say doubled in girth, not so much as length. Obviously they're a stockier snake, but now I was feeding them fuzzies, and it was a good sized meal. I'm going to rat pinks because they're just.
But have you noticed other puffs of a similar size and age previously sort of hit a spurt at all at that same sort of mark?
Not that I've noticed, but this is also the most attentive I've ever been with baby Bittis.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, I've kept a lot of baby Bittis, and like you just feed them, and it's like, you know what? You could probably take something bigger, and you just keep going. This was a noticeable, like, poof, you know?
I've noticed that in chondros about the 2.5 to maybe 3 year mark. Maybe some,
which is
2 and 3 years, they hit a spurt, and they definitely seem to put on a lot of size in a fairly short amount of time.
Yeah, this is about you figure they were probably born in, oh god, when were they born? I don't even remember. I gotta look at pictures, but the one's probably about a year and a half, if not 2 years, and the other ones are probably at the 9 or 10 month mark, maybe a year. So we shall see.
I feel like the Conicus would be a good species to do the cutting thing with.
I think they'd be a great species for that, but I also feel like it would, and I'm not trying to jinx you or like, you know, knock on wood. I feel like it'd be a pain in the ass with them getting them to take frozen thawed, and especially if it's cut and then like sand, and I don't know. Am I out of my league there?
I mean, I don't keep them on sand, but
okay,
that's not a factor. But the bigger factor with those would be whether it's alive or dead, they squeeze the crap out of it. And so if I cut it, I got to be
okay. Weren't you?
Because just like the chondros, they'll turn them into a gusher real quick.
Weren't you telling me though? I guess you have a couple of them that if it's too big, they won't eat it. If it's too small, they won't eat it. It's got to be like Goldilocks, just right.
The Conicus aren't. They're more particular in terms of like if it's too big, they won't eat it. Like it definitely they are on the smaller side of meals to begin with. I did get both Andeans to eat over the weekend though, and my trick was they have a human hide in their tubs, and I took just a frozen thawed pinky cut and put it under that human hide in sort of a little clearing spot of the shavings, the aspen, and then just left it and came back that afternoon and they were gone. So they ate them. So I think what I have to do now is to put it under that human hide and then just ignore them and let them do that.
Yeah. And I think too, if you were very selective as to where you did the cuts for the Conicus, I feel like it would cut back, if not eliminate, the gusher scenario.
It does, because that's what I do with the green trees. I cut it at the base of the tail. I'll put 3 or 4 cuts sort of on the maybe that last like half or quarter inch before the base of the tail is where I'll cut it.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about it getting messy.
Yeah. And like I know for some of my stuff, I've done the armpits. You know, that webbing, where the leg connects. Yeah. I've done that. Or you can even do like the base of the nape right across the back. You know, almost like scruffing the mouse, like a mommy picks up a puppy, you know, and just I have my little cuticle scissors and just cut that scruff right there where it's just skin, and who knows? Yes, Billy, I said mommy on air.
You sure did.
That I did.
I'll do it with the older chondros still. I do it with the rhinos. I do it with everything pretty much at this point.
Yeah, man, I feed too much live to do it with everything. But the stuff that gets frozen thawed, whether it be, you know, crawlers on up, it all gets cut. It does. Works wonders with the fuscus. So
it's helped a lot too for stuff that maybe I got to feed, but it's shipping out, you know, 4 days after it eats.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that.
I don't have to worry about it holding on to that meal as much. Like most of it's gone by the time it's going into shipping, so I'm not nearly as concerned about sending a snake with a full stomach.
Yeah, that's good. That's real good. Yep.
But I'm with Billy, man. I like seeing the data, and I like being able to chart it out and see it in real time. And it's just, even if it's only for personal purposes, and you know, confirming maybe a hunch.
Sure.
At least something to share and be like, look, maybe there's something here, maybe there isn't, but if you're willing to pursue it and check it out, like, here's what I got out of it. So.
Yeah, I agree. Here. Well, let's go back to Billy's newest ventures. So tortoise enclosure got messed up with the hurricane, right?
Yes.
We're back up and running with a new enclosure, or did we just move them inside, or what do we do?
I put it back together. It wasn't like destroyed. It just
fell apart a little.
Yeah, I got it. You know, the raised bed bricks that you can get to make garden beds.
Yeah.
That they have like slots on 4 sides. All that. So I just made it with that because the Burmese don't burrow, so I'm not worried about them digging out.
Yeah. How tall is the substrate dam of that thing? What, like 6 inches? 10 inches?
No, I got it like 20, 22, 24 inches.
Okay. Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah, well, they're climbers. So everybody I've talked to has told me, like, hey, make sure they can't, you know, get in the corners and shimmy up, because I guess they're pretty arboreal for tortoises.
Nice.
Yeah. So, no, I got that put together, and the cool thing with those blocks is they have holes directly down the center. So I got pieces of rebar and staked them into the ground. So those should be pretty good for now.
That's awesome. Have you thought about filling in around the rebar with soil and planting some either creeper vine or pothos or something?
There's not that much space.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's literally the hole's for rebar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's not that much. I mean, I'm sure I could. I mean, like, pothos will grow anywhere. It has a base, it'll grow up anything. So I'm sure I could get it to do that. But no, for now, just have that. We have a lot of plants on the outside and inside and stuff. Basically, a lot of my plant stuff is starting to change and gear towards stuff that they can eat. Between getting these guys and getting back into the lizards and amphibians and stuff, I've put a lot of effort into nutrition and all the different things you can feed all these different animals, and gut loading and supplements and all that. So when you start realizing all the different plants these, especially the tortoises, can eat, it's it's kind of cool because like half the stuff I grow already, I can just throw to them, and then that's you don't have to give them store-bought stuff, and then I do the gardening stuff, so now I'm basically just growing for them.
That's great, man. That's great. Have you started to plant stuff like romaine and cabbage and
About to, yeah, it's almost that
radicchio?
time. Yeah,
Nice.
nice. Gonna do all the leafy greens. It's actually cool. So because of my health stuff, as you guys know, I did a bunch of. That's kind of why I got into the gardening stuff, and a lot of the stuff that I grow or was going to grow for me, they can have as well. So it, gives me more of a reason to put even that much more effort into it. So
That's great. Now, one thing I was going to ask is, excuse me, being that they're forest tortoises, are they more cryptic baskers or are they flat out chilling in the sun? Do you have like shady areas or are they just hiding underneath stuff during the day?
So they are. So you've seen my backyard.
Yeah.
So like when you just go out the back porch, when you just leave the
screened in area.
I have that all the pavers right there. Right. If you turn left, their pin's right there. Like that's where
up against that gate.
Yeah. There's that big oak tree. That's from my neighbor's yard. Ton of shade from there. And then I have different plants in there. Like I think I have 3 hibiscus that are in pots. So they don't eat all of them.
Oh, cool.
In all the corners. And they're all over the place. I've seen that they are supposed to be most active in the mornings and like at dusk, dusk and dawn. I'm seeing them going everywhere all day. But once the sun starts going down, they call it a night and they go in the little hide I made them and they go to sleep and they're done.
Are they going in together in the same hide?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
so
adorable.
What I've done is I took a big concrete mixing tub and I cut a entrance in it. And I put we just had the storm, so I put a bunch of yard debris in there. And because they like to kind of nestle into that. And yeah, all 4 of them will go in there.
Oh, that's adorable, man. I love it. That's super cool.
I was so
they love water. So when it rains, they're very active. We spray them every day. We get the water hose and just douse them, and that gets them very active and moving around and all that. So
yeah, cool, man.
I like that they're a forest species. I think I prefer that one because the diets are a lot easier. Because you can give them fruits and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. There's really nothing you can't give them for the most part. And yeah, with the humidity and all that and our climate, it's so much easier. I don't have to worry about them getting too wet or anything like that. If anything, I want them not to get dry. That seems to be the more detrimental thing from what I've researched.
Interesting. Are you still soaking them like you were at Daytona?
The babies, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. The big ones I'm not too concerned about.
All right,
cool. That's why we spray them down and they got a big water basin.
Nice. And Smitty, you will get one eventually. I know your wife will warm up to it.
Oh, you didn't get? I thought you got one.
No. He was sadly denied.
Almost had it in my hands.
It was a Redfoot, right?
Yeah. Yeah, John Calloway produces a bunch of them, and then it turns out I got rid of some racks and stuff in the snake room, and so I was like, "Hey, John, you need some racks?" And he's like, "Absolutely." And I was like, "Maybe I can trade these for a tortoise." No.
Well, Redfoots aren't that much. Just getting northern ones.
It wasn't so much the funds as it was the acquisition of said specimen.
Gotcha.
It was the whole thing.
Yeah. But I actually, speaking of tortoises, I got to hit up Jeremy and Tyler because I always assumed that my mom had a pair of spec eye, and she's like, no, they're just two boys. I don't think it's two boys. I think it's a pair. I mean, if it is two boys, then then one of them is very, very excited at the other one. But they've been going at it, man. And I keep interrupting them accidentally, and it's like a deer in the headlights, like, oh, they caught me, And I'm really
There was a
hoping
sock on the doorknob.
Yeah, I'm really hoping if I keep seeing the same interaction in the next couple weeks, I'm just going to make a lay box and put it in there and see what happens, because my mom's had them at least 5-6 years now, and they were wild caught adults. So we'll see what happens.
Those are the ones downstairs?
Yeah.
Those are cool.
Yeah, man. And they're doing good. I'm wondering if there's another way to tell without just looking at them, but they look the same. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Nature finds a way.
Did they not have the convex and or not convex, but the concave?
They do and they don't. And I remember Jeremy sent me pictures a long time ago to when I first got him. He's like, this is what you're going to look for. And they kind of don't look like either one. They both have a slight dip in the belly, but it's not really a dip. You know what I mean? And the base of the tails are thick on both of them, and they're both the same length. So I don't know.
The plastron on that adult male redfoot that John had at the Hogwarts thing we did a couple weeks ago, I could have worn that thing as a freaking hat. It was so deep. It was ridiculous. I was like, looks painful. It literally, I was like, this is normal. He's like, yeah, dude. It was like, it looks like it hurts.
And that was a Homiana?
No, it was a redfoot, but
it was a redfoot. I'm sorry.
It was it's like someone stuck a vacuum into the top of the shell and stuck, it started.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, and I mean some tortoises you could 1,000% tell, man. You know what I mean? Dude, spur thighs, it's like you carved out a cantaloupe. But dude, these things, I don't know, and I feel bad for my mom because she is a very intelligent woman, and she does find scientific papers and research journals and stuff. But dude, there's just not a lot on spec eye, man. There's just not. And I mean, she's got every paper that she could find. She was in academia, so she has access to all these scientific resources, whether it be ResearchGate or archives or even just Google Scholar. She's got all that. There's just not a lot on spec eye. There's more on Belliana and I'm trying to think.
Holmes?
No, there's some on Holmes, but most of it's Bella's. I think if I remember what she was telling me. So
should reach out to Ryan Dumont.
I definitely should. I forgot he had that stuff.
Oh, I bug him all the time on these guys.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure Jeremy bred spec eye this year. If he didn't breed him this year, I think he bred him last year because he sent me pictures of babies popping out of the egg. I think I just need to have him send me more pictures and really take measurement and look. So, but
are you planning to get into any more tortoises?
Well, you guys know me.
Is this opening a doorway?
Oh, it's definitely opening a doorway.
Portal?
Dude, he didn't have marijuana as his gateway drug. Oh no, he went straight to black tar heroin with those Burmese mountains.
Yeah, with the starting out first tortoises, black Burmese, getting fairy eye. Come on.
Yeah, he shows up to the pharmacist with the needle already in his arm.
What do I need?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna stick with what I have for now. I do like elongated tortoises. Those things are pretty cool.
Yeah.
And especially with how variable they are and all that. Yellowfoots are cool. I think yellowfits are real cool. I seem to like the stuff that gets bigger for some reason. Just like with the amphibians. I don't know why. But yeah. For now I'm just gonna stick with what I got.
Yeah, if I'm gonna have a frog, it has to be the largest frog ever in existence.
Yeah, right. Yeah, see, Sam knows. she already caught on to my nonsense.
Nice. Yeah, in quotes for now. Here, I'll throw that on the screen, Sammy Joe. There you go.
For now. Yeah, I'm already talking elongated, so Lord knows when that'll happen.
Look, man, I'm happy that you went the tortoise route. I'm team tortoise. I do love turtles, don't get me wrong, but I am team tortoise. But so many people do tortoise and turtle, and then they I don't want to say they get fucked up, but like I think it's easier to focus on one than the other. It's easier if you're all in the aquatics, you're all in the aquatics. If you're all in the forest floor, then you're all on the forest floor, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Well, luckily for me, because of course, like I was just saying, the size thing. The only aquatic turtles I'm really interested in, which I don't have the space at all for it right now, would be the Batagar borneo-ensis, the painted, the painted river turtles.
Yeah.
So I think I'm okay there. I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. But
yeah, it's just a lot of work in aquatics, man.
it is, yeah. And two, I think once I get all the amphibians going, I'm gonna have plenty to do with aquatic stuff with tadpoles and water changes and all that. So
should get dark frogs.
Maybe. You never know. I might do it one day. Right now, the only other thing that's really on my radar, amphibian wise, would be Malaysian horned frogs. Those are really cool. And then they stay tadpoles for like 8-9 months.
Really?
Yeah, if you look up a picture of their of their mouths, they're surface feeders. Like most tadpoles are like basically like little bullets that just kind of sink and stay at the bottom and stuff. They literally have a mouth that looks like a demogorgon, from Stranger Things, and goes up to the surface and stuff. It's pretty cool. So that's that's the only thing on the radar right now.
Anything new snake wise?
I sent some stuff to Phil.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to queue it up right now, send it to Smitty for whatnot.
Yeah, so well, I'll wait and see what comes up first. But yeah, there's always something coming and going. You know how it is. It's the same for everybody. But definitely starting to focus more on, if I do get stuff, it's usually just adding to whatever groups I have or anything there.
You doing rhinos next year?
Hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to. Yeah, we'll see. I'm so in a couple weeks, I'm actually making a trip down to Phil at some point.
Oh, okay.
And I'm getting a cooler, or fridge or whatever, to hopefully start brumating some stuff. I'm hoping that'll get me a little better with the stuff that I've had issues with. The Chinese beauties, the Japanese rat snakes, that kind of stuff. The Diones, which are kicking ass, by the way.
I didn't really. I cooled them in the garage, and it was like the winter before last, and it was not a consistent like 50, 55. It was all over the place, and I never had snakes lock up as quick as those two did.
Well, I
So,
might just throw them together when it warms up.
I
and see
don't
what
think you're really going to have to get them that cold, man. Like I've heard the bimaculata, you do have to get cold, but their range is also much more is microscopic compared to Dion's. But yeah, I don't
And
think
those, since they're two different localities that are so wide.
Yeah,
Dude, and the color on that male, I didn't realize
it's
how
wild, dude.
much color he had. Yeah,
Especially when he sheds, he's like apricot. He's like pink. It's wild.
All right, they should be coming to you, Smitty.
On the messenger.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So we'll see. I'm hoping that'll help because, like, I hear you, Smitty, but everyone's told me the same thing about the Chinese beauties, and I still haven't been able to get them cool enough to get even infertile eggs. So I don't know. I'm hoping it'll, kind of help get me a little more consistent, especially since I got
Yeah, no, for sure.
projects I want to
I
get
know
a little bit
that's been
into.
Jake and I's biggest complaint is not being able to have a consistently cold extended period of time for a proper cooling. When we use the garage, like we're at the mercy of whatever the weather wants to do on a given year. And in the South, it's going to be all over the place. It's going to be cold one week and it'll be warm the next, and then it'll just ping pong back and forth for 3 months.
Yeah, and it's even worse down here, man. It's like when I was able to pull off breadlie when I did, I still don't know how I did that. Hopefully the cooler will work. That's I've been talking about it for a long time, so I'm excited to finally get one and see what happens.
Facebook's trying to bring it up.
Yeah, I just sent him a whole bunch of stuff that I figure we can chat a little bit about.
Yeah.
Do you guys keep hearing a thumping on my end by any chance?
No.
Nope.
No? Okay. Good. I got the Australian water dragons, and they just keep jumping around. They're not stopping.
See, I thought it was going to be a microphone issue.
No, it took me a little bit to figure out what it was, but yeah, it's the Aussie water dragons. They've like tripled in size
Excellent.
since Daytona.
That's good, man. I can't believe it's been that many months since Daytona.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely wild, man. Absolutely wild.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, gentlemen, I want to say something while Smitty pulls these photos up. It is officially 58 degrees.
I was going to say, it feels like it's dropped a considerable amount of degrees just in the last couple of minutes here.
It feels like 51. And the humidity is at 73%. What the freak?
Florida doing Florida things.
Florida doing Florida. Oof.
Yeah, I see on the comments, Dragon Lair saying that elongateds are mean. I've read that too. That's another reason I'm not like super like quick on jumping into them. But I don't know.
This thing is killing me.
Do you want me to try and do it, Smitty?
It's trying to queue up the first batch is all. Facebook, like everything else, has also gotten slower.
Yeah, I've actually noticed that. You think with all the updates and advancement in technology, it would be faster, smoother. Not the case.
Oh, while we're waiting, Phil,
Yeah.
that brown Suriname you got me is doing great.
Excellent. Excellent. Glad to
He's,
hear it.
which was uncharacteristic the first time I waited a little bit. I feed them fairly infrequently, and I kind of give them bigger meals, what I started doing. And first time I put a hopper in front of him, he like went at it. And, like,
And for those listening, we're talking about Suriname horned toad or horned frog.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I got that guy coming Thursday.
Nice.
From Randy.
Randall.
So, yeah, he's got some killer stuff, man. And
Huge.
when he posted that guy, he did like one of those posts like, I don't know if I should keep it or not.
Yeah. That's what a sales tactic, Randy.
Yeah, right. Hook, line, and sinker with me here.
Exactly, right in the gills.
Yeah, definitely got me. So yeah, that guy's coming Thursday, and het calico, if you believe calico's het. But if you see the litter that thing came from, like it's all calicos, and that Halloween's so red, like there's something going on.
And
So,
I don't know anything about tree boas, but I'm a firm believer that calico is het for sure.
that's what it seems like. I got some stuff. I got some females lined up for this guy that we'll see. Like I have an adult calico female right now, so he just has to get up to size, and we'll be good to go.
Nice.
But yeah, I really like the Halloween stuff, especially the Halloween tiger. I want to get into the garden tiger stuff. I have the one, but I want to, dive into that a little more. Everybody really focuses on the bright colors and everything, which I have plenty of that too. I'm like building a little army of the Amazons, but yeah, really excited to get that guy in the collection and see what he does.
Surprise, surprise, Billy's getting something with stripes.
Yeah. How big is that snake?
It was born this year. It's a little baby guy. So it should be the next few pictures. If you guys remember Jeff and Kendra, they had a bunch of these giant Western anoles they got from Ron St. Pierre in Daytona. Two of the females laid, because I always ship their stuff back for them. Two of the females laid eggs. So I ended up with 2 eggs.
Didn't it lay at Daytona?
One did, and then one laid on the ride back. So I have 2 giant Western anoles now. But I thought it was funny because like I'm messing with them, and this was literally like probably minutes after it hatched, and I picked it up. I'm like, oh, this is cute, and then like it did the gaping thing that it's doing there, and I was like, here we go. It's more mean stuff for me, but yeah, that was pretty cool. I think they're just them hatching and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I hatched a lizard here, so it was cool to see that process and everything. And it's crazy.
It looks so good against that flower.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy how bright they get. And then as soon as I go to open up the little tub that I have them in, they like go dark instantly. And then as soon as I leave them alone for 5-10 minutes, they go right back to being neon green. It's really cool.
Wow.
They do look good on those purple.
They do, dude. It's like almost Fiji Island iguana green.
Yeah, they're cool. I like their lips too. I guess they're also called the white denole. So this could be I guess this is a little story I can tell. Came home from work and this little mud turtle was in my backyard. I know my dogs didn't get it because they weren't out yet.
If they did, it wouldn't be there.
Yeah, right. Well, I don't know if you can tell if you look right. That's just bone on its arm. Like there's no meat there. So
Jeez.
something got a hold of him pretty good. Yeah. So I was able to find a rehabber and take him to him and all that. He we had him in the big deli cup. Once we like weren't hovering over him, he'd get out. Like he'd come out and he'd start doing laps around the thing and all. Like he seemed pretty healthy besides just having a bone for an arm. But yeah, it was just kind of cool. Something different that's happened and all that. A cool little guy. So hopefully he's doing good.
Nature is brutal.
Yeah, right. Is it Nature is Metal? Is that the page? That thing's crazy. So went to the Tampa show or last month, and I was only gonna get feeders. I was really only gonna get feeders.
Yeah, okay.
And I know. So, I came across that Amazon, and then I think the next picture is the other one. Yeah, that guy. There was the first one's a lot more red than that picture shows. Yeah, like there's so much red on it. Its belly is all red, all that. So anyway, Bill from Redfoot Ranch. I'm looking on his table. It's all tortoises and turtles and stuff. And then like in the corner, he had 3 baby Amazons. I was like, "Hey man, what's what's this? What's going on here?" And yeah, he's like, "Yeah, I got a pair. They dropped, a few weeks ago." So yeah, I figured, especially that one having that much color that young, because they're only in that picture it was only 3 weeks old, so they're real fresh. But
I like the eyes on that one.
yeah, they're both really cool, man. And you can already see like all the orange and reds coming in on that one. So that's probably going to be a really nice tricolor and stuff. So I'll wait for Phil to sit down on this one. Phil.
I do miss Amazons.
Yeah. Well, here, go back so Phil can see the. I don't think I sent him pictures of those. Phil, you see my new Amazons I got?
Yeah, dude, killer, absolutely insane.
Yeah, those will go really nice with tigers down the line.
Oh yeah.
Basically, I see stuff now, and I'm like, man, that look really great as a tiger, and then it comes home. So that's one of the African green toads. So I think it was actually one of those Amazons. The first time I offered, I tried to give it a button quail, and it didn't take it. And I was just curious if one of the toads could take one. So that's its belly after, like they're usually not that plump and round. And stuff. But yeah,
after eating a bird.
Yeah, it took a button quail down. So not something I'm going to do all the time, but I just thought it was interesting, and it was alive the next morning. So
yeah, rock and roll. Yeah. There they are.
Yeah, that's 3 of the browns. So the one on the right is the biggest one. That one's about 11 inches. So just to kind of give a size reference. But yeah, those guys are so cool. As soon as you go up to the pen, they always think you're going to feed them. So they come up to you and they're, begging and all that. They're always like biting stuff. So like you get in the pen and don't keep moving, they'll come up at you and like they're trying to bite your shoes and all that stuff. But, yeah,
do you think that's them like testing to see if it's edible, or is that just curious like a shark?
No, they're definitely seeing if it's edible.
Shark.
No, you know how like sharks bite stuff just to be because they're curious.
No, these guys will eat from sun up to sundown if you let them, and they'll eat everything. So they're all about trying to eat whatever they can.
I think if they could eat the shoes, they would.
Yeah, I got a video of one of them trying to bite my shoe. Um, yeah, there. I used to think I had the babies. They would come up and like how Aldabras, like they want neck scratches and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they extend their heads, all that. That's what I thought these guys were doing. So I would do that. Then finally I was like, wait a second, let me see what they're actually doing. And I just kept my hand in front of them, and they slowly started opening their mouths and trying to go at you. I'm like, oh, I see what this behavior is.
Nice. That's awesome. I will say this, man. Those ones are way bigger than I thought they were. I mean, I know it's only like 11 inches, but still, like.
Yeah, well, that's the biggest one. The smallest one's like 7 inches.
It's much more average.
Yeah, I think it's
Smitty.
Good for you, buddy. So yeah, like I think it's like 7, and then the other two are like 8 or 9, somewhere in there, and then there's the 11. But
Most
still,
people are much more accustomed to 3s.
yeah. Well, oh my god, those are the blacks. Those would be the blacks that I got. So
That's
anyway,
sexual innuendos aside. That is, correct me wrong, but the larger specimens you have, those are the brown mountains, and then the babies you got at Daytona, those are black mountains.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I ended up getting the group of browns. They just kind of presented themselves, and I just was like, man, all right, cool. They're already they're 5 years old, so they already got 5 years in. These guys are notorious for being a lot longer to mature.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, well, I can, it gives me 5 years on stuff, and
yeah,
so it worked out.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, dude. Because I thought about it years ago. I wish I would have got them sooner. But,
yeah.
What's the saying? Like the best time to get stuff was 10 years ago. The second best time is now. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. These more. That's the group of African green toads. I just think it's cool seeing the different variability in that species.
Oh yeah, man.
I know you're well versed with that group, Phil. Those are the ones you kept for like a year for me.
I don't know if it was a year, but yeah, those
It was close.
they look good, man. They're little chunky monks,
Yeah, dude. I think that that male, that all green male, that might be like my favorite one out of the group.
Really?
Yeah. Which like they're pretty colorful for toads, but like at first I was like, oh man, it's like, oh, all green one, okay. But then the more you mess with it and you see them fire up and fire down, all that. Yeah, it's just one with a stripe on it, so naturally.
Yeah, they're just so variable, man. I love it.
Yeah, that's a cool ass toad, man. They eat everything.
And Billy, you got to get more slow-mo video. Some of my favorite slow-mo video I have of my animals are those green toads, and that tongue just flopping out and grabbing something.
Yeah, I need to get better with that. With all the
man, look how light that one
I
is.
really like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that one a lot too. It gets like this ivory bone color to it.
Mm-hmm.
To where it makes the greens and a little bit of orange accent, like on the head and above the glands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes that really pop. So when that one fires up, it's really nice.
Is that one a girl?
Not sure, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't kept track of it, but I've been picking up some, and they're making a lot more noise than I was thinking.
Okay.
But
wow, man, those things are growing.
Yeah, so those were the That's the babies that I got in Tinley. Not this past Tinley, but the one before that. It looks like a pair. So
Hell
that,
yeah.
yeah, that guy's a male. He's a little asshole. But, yeah, he's looking great, man. I was able to get info from the person that bred them because I didn't get them from the breeder. I got them from a pet shop that was set up.
Okay.
The breeder sold all the babies to the shop, and the breeder reached out to me and gave me all the info on the parents and all that. So these are F1s from wild caught parents and stuff. So
Oh wow.
Nice.
with with these guys not coming in anymore, that's I thought that was a pretty cool thing to have that information.
Mm-hmm.
You know locality or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Man, I love that seafoam green on the face.
Yeah.
Just looking great, man. The orange under the armpits.
He's got a long way to go, man.
Yeah.
He'll probably quadruple that size by the end of it.
Awesome. Awesome.
So, also have a little group of southern toads. And what's cool about my group of southern toads, I've gotten them from like the same half-mile radius. And I'll only get them from that spot. And this one just had a bunch of pattern and stuff on it. It's hard to see in this picture, but it has a lot of red accents, like kind of around all the patterns. So that was just a really cool one.
Those white and red dots, those are the LED lights above it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on the tub that my smooth side's in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And wow, look how red that one is.
So we found, I think I have 5 that are like this red. There's one that he's that red, and then his glands are like orange.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, he's got some bands on his arms and legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's a great looking animal.
Yeah, so I don't know what I don't know how they'll end up, how they're gonna, because they're still pretty small. They're probably like silver dollar size, not like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been really. I was telling you and Casey, like, I don't know why these guys aren't more popular as like, first time pets and stuff. They're so forgiving and
yeah,
so easy. And then they're fun to watch. They're kind of goofballs romping around and all that. And then when they're done, they settle in and they'll, burrow into the moss or the substrate or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like there's just still I don't want to say a stigma, but like, I mean, for lack of a better word, there's still a stigma against toads for whatever reason. I mean, obviously, to the normal person, a dumpy tree frog or a white tree frog is much more cuter than a grumpy southern toad, but I love them because they're grumpy,
Yeah.
and just perpetual frowny face.
Yeah, right. Well, that's any toad.
Yeah, right.
They're all like that. But
yeah.
I mean, you've seen what me and Sam have been finding and stuff. It's from her old neighborhood. That's the spot that I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll just go there because it's always a good spot to get a whole bunch of different looks. But
yeah,
I got the reds. I got one that when it fires up, it's got like lavender hues to it. And then I got a male that it's dark and then it has yellow accents.
Oh wow.
So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Very cool, man. Very cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of the newest stuff that's been going on.
There should be. Is there another cluster of photos, Smitty, or no?
Let me look.
That may have been it. Yeah, it's interesting to me that. So I don't have southern toads where I live. I have to drive about 45 minutes to an hour to get southern toads because I've got to get away from where the cane toads are. And when we do find them, they're in good numbers, and they're all healthy and stuff. And I found them in the cane fields too, in the same habitat as cane toads, which is always nice to see. But they're never, they will have some cryptic patterning, but they're always going to be fairly drab earth tones, more browns and more greens and olives and evergreen, that the duckweed color. Excuse me. But we don't ever get anything that's got yellow or lavender or red. It's so amazing that just up the state a little bit by Billy, you get such a wide variety of coloration. I mean, the patterns are as cryptic as they are. They're fairly consistent in their crypticness, if that makes sense. But the color difference is crazy.
Yeah. Well, I'm sending you a couple pictures of another one that I found and I still have.
I was to say, just send them directly to Smitty on Messenger. And then he can just, because he has the window still open, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's just the variability just in that one spot. It's literally like a half-mile radius, and it's another cool thing is we've never found a cane toad in that spot.
That's great. That's really great.
Yeah, so that's something that I've appreciated as well, because once they take over, that's the end of that.
Yeah, man, for sure. So are you going to try your hand at breeding them this year or no?
I don't know if they are going to be big enough.
Okay.
I know the African greens will be.
Yeah.
So I know you and me need to brainstorm. We talked about like a rain chamber idea.
Yeah, for sure.
So I want to do that.
I got some cocktail napkin sketches that I'm going to send your way. So.
All right. Yeah. Do that. And then the Asian river toads, they hooked up during the storm.
Yeah.
So that's might try them too. But yeah, that one with like a yellow
man, that's
freaking
like yellow toad. Yeah.
It's like yellow and then white-sided almost when it's fired up. Now when it's not fired up, it looks fairly normal, but it still gets like that. So you can see it next to like normal ones and stuff.
Oh yeah. Great contrast against the moss.
Yeah, that was a good find. I can't take credit for that one. Sam found that one.
They always do find the best ones, man, right?
Yeah, she found most of them. But, yeah, that one's really cool. So I'm curious to see how it's gonna turn out. I've seen where you guys saw the picture of the leucistic one that was found recently. I think Cody ended up with it.
No, I don't remember that.
So yeah, it was literally an all white one, and Cody ended up with it. And this guy on the post, he had a pictogram thing of a white toad as like a smaller toad, and then it was like at 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, all the way up to like a year or two or whatever. And as it progressed, it started getting more color. It started looking more like a regular toad, whereas an adult, it basically looked like a regular one.
Wow.
Huh.
So curious to see like if that's what all these are going to do. If they just look like, are they going to still keep the reds or keep the yellows or
right?
Yeah. Yeah, but, man, I find that very interesting. It makes me wonder, like, was the tadpoles white?
Yeah, right. There's a lot of questions, but
yeah.
Let me see if I can. I think I say yep, sure did.
Yeah, I still need to find Spadefoots by me. I need to do that. I keep procrastinating it, and I know that if I find them, I'm going to want to keep them. I need to set up an enclosure ahead of time and not be that guy that just takes stuff home and then figures it out.
None of us have ever done that.
I know, right? But it's for Spadefoots. I feel like I owe it to them to do it right.
They're on a pedestal.
What's that?
Which is good. They're on a pedestal.
Yeah, they are. They
Which
are
is a
for
good
sure.
thing.
For sure. But I've passed over like maybe 5 or 6 Southerns in the past 5 or 6 months because it's just, yeah, they're in a nice, beautiful area. They're healthy looking. I'm like, you know what? Go make more babies. You know, I'll get one eventually. And they're not. The specimen doesn't smack me in the face. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I know Billy had the ability to field collect, 60 of them and cherry pick which ones he wanted.
That was a good night. Yeah.
That was a good night.
Yeah. We got a bunch. But so when I was at the Lakeland show a couple months back, and they had Southern toads on the table, or on one table. They were $10 a piece, and I went through. They had like 2 stacks of deli cups or whatever. Not one of those damn things was a Southern. There was cane toads and spadefoots.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like I look at the one, like you can't mistake the spadefoot eyes.
Yeah,
Know?
exactly.
You have this on your porch and you can't even tell.
Yeah, right. And then
wow.
I was looking at Sam and I'm like, do I even bother? And she's like, it's up to you, whatever you want to do. And I was just like, you know what? This part of me was like, some kid buys a cane toad, like that can be bad.
Yeah, for sure.
But then I'm like, do I want to risk making a scene and all that? Because you never know how people are going to take it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't come off like the nicest guy sometimes.
Well, what were they selling? What was he selling them for?
$10.
I mean, dude, $10 for spadefoots. Like, I'll take that.
Yeah, right. I guess hindsight. I guess I should have sent you a picture and been like, "Hey, I'll take care of this for a year for you if you want."
Yeah.
Kind of pay it forward. You get those other pictures, Smitty? I found the thing. I found the post that had that leucistic, and then that thing that the guy put.
Let me see.
How was that Zephyr Hills, Billy?
This is purified water from Members Mark.
Oh,
I'm an exclusive member.
An aristocrat.
Only the elite.
Only the elite. Spared no expense.
No. Like $3-4 for 40 of them. Can't beat that.
Yeah. Yeah, I still haven't abandoned the idea of the toad rack. I got that 18-quart rack just empty, just waiting to get filled with moss. Oh, dude, that's like a pied. Look at that toad, man. That's like a pied toad.
Yeah, but like you see how it started and then how it
and
all that. So
it's almost like damn, what are those calico snakes that you can't tell it's calico until, is it Retix that does that? Where you don't know it's calico until it's like 5 or 6 years old, and then boom, it just turns calico.
I think it's Retix.
Is it Retix?
I think
it's
so.
Almost like the reverse of that.
Yeah. Well, but like there's known mutations of Southerns that are pied and stay like it and all that. So
yeah.
I don't know. But then the next picture is the post where the guy saw it.
Okay, yeah, that one I remember seeing.
Yeah, so he field collected it.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, I thought it was popped up in captive breeding.
No. So I started following some pages because of course, and
of course,
yeah, stuff like this pops up more than you would realize.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised that it made it to that size. Like the fact that it even survived to get to that point is impressive.
Yeah, for sure.
Even at night, that thing's gonna stick out. Yeah,
it's gonna glow like a lamp.
Yeah, but don't quote me. But I think Cody and Pia ended up with it.
Oh wow. Okay. Very cool, man. Very, very cool.
Yeah, it's cool that there's such. I kind of feel bad because I feel like I've always kind of not paid too much attention to like the native stuff.
We all have, man. We all have.
Yeah.
Not enough. we appreciated it, but we didn't really appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So now seeing like I go to a zoo now, and like there's especially in this area, there's always the southern toad set up right next to the cane toad setup, and I'm sitting there, taking pictures of everything, and being a nerd about it, and they got these southerns that are the size of baseballs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's really cool. I'm having a ton of fun with them. So they're so easy. Oh my gosh, they're so easy.
Well, you've also been like breeding the crap out of feeder bugs. So
Yeah, yeah, I'm
you know what I
doing
mean?
well with that.
Like
Yeah.
I'm still getting crickets a couple times a week. You're just farming bugs.
Well, I still every time I go to a show, I still get a couple thousand crickets, and if I need to replenish, still like I'm still spending money on it, but it's not as bad. The discoids are doing really good.
Excellent.
So
How do the toads, both the southerns and the Africans, how do they handle roaches?
they do really well with them. They honestly, I've put everything together. I did this recently, like a day or two ago. I put when I had the pictures of the African greens, I put them in a tub so I could clean out their enclosure, and I put crickets, mealworms, uh, mealworm beetles, and roaches, and they went to the roaches first
Really?
out of everything.
So now, are you putting them in a dish to eat, or are you just throwing them loose in the tub with them?
I just threw them loose in the tub with them.
Really? And they're not like stressed out about, oh my God, I'm in a tub. I got to get out of here and not eat.
Initially, yeah, but then as soon as they catch the movement, they're like, "Oh wait, I can, just sit here and get fat."
Oh, that's brilliant. I got to do that.
I think the roaches move quicker, so that catches their attention more.
Okay.
And it's cool too because they can eat less roaches. So
Yeah.
like one roach can equal 3 or 4 crickets. Like mass wise and stuff.
So now, how in relation to the toad, just for my own scale, how big of a discoid are you giving them? The width, like the width of their eyes, or
I just kind of eyeball it. I think they were getting like 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch.
okay, all right.
Something like that. Another thing I've noticed with all the toads, especially the southerns, researching and finding, like, what's cool about the southerns is they have like multiple papers on straight diet studies and like what they're eating and what they're seeing in their guts and all that. Beetles are a huge one. And I mean, breeding mealworms, if you do it right, you'll have more beetles than you could ever imagine.
And they're eating mealworm beetles.
Yeah.
Now, is it superworm beetles that smell like campfire?
Um,
I think it's superworm beetles. They stink like campfire, and nothing wants to eat them.
No, I've fed those too. I haven't had any issues.
Man, I remember like feeding them to bearded dragons and stuff, and they'd like put it in their mouth and go and spit it out.
So
how'd it go again?
Oh, I'm not doing that again.
Can we make Phil's like picture the only picture so we can do it again for everybody?
No, definitely not. Someone's gonna go back and remember this timestamp. Jesus,
that'll be a meme.
It'll get colored.
Yeah, it'll get colored real quick.
It'll get saved in my album. But no, I'm noticing a lot of these toads. I go and look at the field studies and stuff, and a lot of them are eating a lot of beetles, and like the smooth sides tear them up, the southerns tear them up, the greens tear them up, and like you'll feed stuff. Like I've noticed with the water dragons, like if I give them a bunch of superworms or something, their water dish the next day there'll be a bunch of exoskeletons and stuff. So that tells you they're not made to digest all that. The exoskeletons of those insects. The toads, like you would never know what they're eating.
I was actually going to ask you that. Have you noticed that either their poop is either really tiny or almost non-existent? Have you noticed that? That's fascinating to me. And obviously they poop. Obviously you see poop, and like they'll poop in the water bowl and stuff, but it's not the same as a lizard that's just like going. It's almost like they're harnessing every bit of material from that prey item, and barely any waste is coming out.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, and which is so shocking compared to things like your horned frogs, that when they poop, oh, they pooping.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting how it's so it varies from species to species. That's why I think it's important to, look at the field studies, see what they're eating and stuff. Like a lot of the stuff too, I've read they're eating a lot of ants and stuff, especially as younger animals.
Really?
So yeah, but like the cornuta as babies, they eat mostly, like number wise, they eat ants more than anything.
Wow.
So Rapashi gives they have a, what's it for, formic acid, folic acid,
Okay.
whatever they get from the ants. I forget exactly what it's called. So anyway, I got that to kind of throw in there, a couple times a month just to hit that, requirement or whatever.
Excellent.
Yeah, formical plus this one.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's basically they made it for the horny toads that, eat all ants and stuff. But yeah, I've had no issues with the beetles and stuff. I'm trying to find it. I found there was a article that was talking about the nutritional breakdown between mealworms, the mealworm uh, pupa, where they look like aliens,
Yeah.
and then the beetles. And they're actually more like nutritionally complete as pupa and beetles than they are the worms.
Really?
Yeah. So when you get stuff that's able to take down the beetles, why not?
Yeah. Why
That's what
wouldn't
I figured. And since once you get the mealworms going, it's pretty insane how quickly they can reproduce and stuff. But yeah, I can't seem to find it. But if I do, I can send it to you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kind of opened my eyes. I was like, okay, because you always hear like, don't feed the mealworm beetles, don't superworm beetles, all that. But from what I'm seeing and giving a varied diet too, I'm not only feeding them that. But the feeding response I get from those guys when I drop those in is like that's almost like they have more of an affinity to the beetles than anything.
Wow. I would have never guessed that, man. That's wild.
Well, that's why I've been advocating, if you have a species, like deep dive into them and look at field studies, look at stuff. Don't just look at breeder accounts. Don't just look at care sheets. See what they're doing in the field. See what they're doing in labs.
Yeah.
Don't get lost in all the blood work stuff that, obviously that can't, we can't do much with that. But I've learned so much just from, looking at what guys are seeing and what they're, finding in their guts and stuff. So
Super cool, man. Super cool.
yeah, gives us all the opportunity to nerd out like we all like to.
For sure. For sure, man. And just like we've said it before, the older I get, the more I enjoy the observation of the animals, and I am observing things that I never did in the past. And it's like,
man.
I obviously missed it because I wasn't looking for it, and now I'm looking for everything, and I'm seeing cool stuff. So
write it down, dude. Because I'm starting to do that too. I'll write stuff down when I see interesting behaviors and all that, and I think about all the time that I haven't done that, how much stuff I probably saw and didn't realize I've seen it. So
most definitely.
one more thing. I know we're
Yeah.
getting close. So thinking of that, when I researched into the tortoises, the mountains, the Amorphophallus that Jamie gave me, that big thing.
Yeah.
Those are actually like naturally eaten by the tortoises in Asia.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild, man.
Yeah. So like those bulbs are actually like yams, so people will eat them, and the tortoises will eat the foliage part.
Interesting. And they don't eat the rotten yam or the fermented yam?
I mean, if it comes up, they're not really diggers, so they're not like digging it out, but they'll go to the base of it to the soil line,
Right.
and they'll eat it, and then it falls down and they tear it up.
Very cool, man. So are you going to propagate more of them specifically for the torts?
Oh, it's already happening.
Well, I should have even asked.
It's already
Yeah,
happening.
foolish me, foolish me.
Yeah, it's a bunch of those and the Alacotia, the elephant ears.
Yeah.
They eat those naturally. So now the backyard's got a bunch of those, that I'm going to try to make huge ones. Yeah.
Very cool, man. It's cool that we have plants that it's like that line in Jurassic Park with the West Indian lilac. Like we pick stuff because it's pretty, not realizing that it's poisonous. Well, we also pick stuff that's pretty that happens to come from the area where our animals are kept, and they happen to eat it. So rock and roll,
Yeah. I found so many things. So like I've had this idea where I want to grow my own ginger.
Okay.
Because why not?
Yeah,
well, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
And then I find out that the foliage part of the plant, they also eat. So now I can,
That's
I can
great.
get ginger for me, and then when I'm, ready to harvest, I can cut the foliage and throw it into them, and then they're all good.
Yeah, and think about how much anybody who has their own little garden at home, whether it's ginger or like even tomato plants, like people that just have a little tomato plant on their windowsill, right?
Mhm.
We throw the clippings away. We throw the thresh away, if you will.
Yeah, there's so much stuff. Just make sure you do the research to make sure it's the right thing, because some stuff is dangerous. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen a whole bunch of plants that they're able to eat and stuff that's naturally in the forest with them, and I'm like, all right, well, now I can try to seek those out. So now that scratches that itch of the thrill of the find, because we
Yeah.
all have that with the
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
we do, and
The
then once you
quest.
get it, I can do the plant side that I like as far as growing and propagating, and with the ultimate thing of feeding to the tortoises. So.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. And I wonder how much you given the babies, the elephant ear and like the no, I can't remember the plant name that Jamie gave you. Damn.
Amorphophallus.
Amorphophallus, yeah. You giving Amorphophallus leaves, how is that going to alter or augment their growth?
Yeah. Well, that's
especially,
why I'm keeping the notes and stuff.
Yeah, if it's native and it's supposed to be in their diet, like rock and roll.
Yeah, it's that's the part I'm having the most fun with all this stuff. Like the the snakes they're fun. I still enjoy those. But once you get them dialed in, it's kind of all right. We got them. We're doing the routine and all that. With these guys, it's new, and since it kind of takes the two hobbies that I have, puts them together, it makes it, it's the new exciting thing for now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, gentlemen, to that 2-hour mark.
It's cold.
You look cold, buddy. I don't envy you.
I won't lie. Flip-flops was probably not a smart idea, but I'll survive.
In your 60-degree weather?
Excuse me. It's 58 right now.
My apologies.
Yes.
That's hoodie weather.
It is. Well, I'm wearing my Asclepius Snakebite Foundation hoodie that I get to wear twice a year. So yes. Oh, I lied, gentlemen. It's 57 degrees now, and the humidity is at 74%.
Yikes.
Feels like 50.
How will you survive?
How will I survive? This is a good time, guys. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
Of course, pleasure as always. I'm glad you could join us on such short notice.
Yeah, we'll have to. I know you guys have tried. We'll have to do another book club thing.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I'll
Yeah,
probably have to do. If you guys don't mind, I'll probably have to do like papers or something. I'm starting to run out of books to talk about.
you just gotta buy more.
I know that. For the
I
time
saw
being.
I saw a meme today on Instagram. It said, "You did not buy a book today. To congratulate yourself, you should reward yourself with a book."
There you go. Yeah, I need to get better about it. It's been a bit. I haven't bought a new Hurt book, and it's been a bit.
Yeah, get on it, boy.
Well, all the ones I want are like, gosh, like $200.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm kind of in that stage of it now, so where
Yeah,
I want like the medical stuff and the high end things. And all
Put it
that.
on my Amazon wish list to send to my family for my birthday and stuff. And knowing that I'm not going to get them.
you never know that. You never know.
Can't catch a fish if you don't throw the line out, man.
It's true. It's
Never
true.
know.
Man, and like Smitty and I were talking about this Scorpion book that's from France, and I keep seeing it, and I'm like, oh, just buy it for myself. And I'm like, no, it's the holidays. I gotta buy stuff for other people. I have to be a freaking adult. But that book is looming over me. So
Sounds like you're gonna get it regardless.
probably, yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
Well, it's like you buy as many Christmas gifts as possible as fast as you can. That way you'll know how much money you have for your book.
There you go.
Priorities, right?
Well, next book show we do, I can't wait to hear about
it. This Monday.
You whip it out now. You're like, I actually already have it.
You're like, here you go.
No. Well, this episode was brought to you by blackboxcages.com, Facebook, Instagram. Use the code THN24 at checkout. Get a little discount. Save even more on shipping, choosing the pickup option. Drive on up to North Georgia, pick up your stuff, take it home, set it up, enjoy it forever. FullVisApparel.com. Use that code THN at checkout. Get 15% off your orders. That is the exclusive promo code for THN listeners and viewers like you. And Cold-Blooded Caffeine, best coffee around. Snakes and Stogies blend, along with many, 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 many others that you will not be disappointed with. Use the code SMOKE. Get a little bit off as well. I believe we're coming back Thursday with an Arachnerds episode, and then I think there was talk of Jake and Sky doing Flippin' 10 sometime this week too.
Cool.
Gotta verify, but not many shows left in the year. Usually we take like the last half of December off. So I'm sure we'll do an end of the year show or something at some point. But
You guys been busy this year, man. You deserve a break.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially when it's 30 degrees in my garage right now.
You look not comfortable.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I usually don't mind the cold, but maybe I'm just getting old. I'm over it.
I don't like the cold at all, so I can't talk shit.
I love the cold. Ooh, I love it.
That's why he's pretending it's cold where he's at.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty
He's
much.
sweating right now.
No, I'm at a perfect temperature.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will see everybody later. Thank you.
Bye.
See you guys.